Good morning. Today we are going to review for our Chapter 3 test. Number 1, explain how to find 40 times 50 using mental math. Well, if I think of 40 as 4 tens and I think of 50 as 5 tens, 4 times 5 is 20, but it's 20 tens, right? So I have 1, 2 zeros. So I'm going to need 2 more zeros in my answer, which is 2,000. All right, Miss Trainer's class is taking a field trip to the zoo. The trip will cost $26 for each student. There are 22 students in her class. In step 1, they want you to estimate the total cost for the students. Well, 26 is close to 30, and 22 is close to 20. So if I did 20 times 30, well, 2 times 3 is 6, and I have 1, 2 zeros in my answer. So the estimate should be close to 600. So the original problem is 26 times 22. They want us to use compatible numbers to estimate the cost of the field trip. Well, 26 is close to 25, right? So if I did 25 times, there we go, 25 times 20, that would give me, well, 2 times 25, 2 quarters is 50, and then I have my 0, so it would be 500. So another estimate could be 500. Now, what do you think is a better estimate? Do you think 500 is a better estimate, or do you think 600 is a better estimate? Well, I want to solve it to find out. So if I've got 26 times 22, so first I'm going to do my ones. 6 times 2 is 12. Regroup my 1. 2 times 2 is 4, plus my 1 is 5. Now I'm done with my ones and I'm on to my tens. Put my little space saver here because this is really by 20, not by 2. 2 times 6 is 12. 2 times 4 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So we get, and I add these up, 2, 7, 5. So the real answer is 572. So honestly, I personally think the 600 is probably a better guesstimate because it's closer to the answer. All right, on this one, they want us to know if it's the correct answer. So first, let's look at 3A. We have 35 times 10. Well, 35 times 10. We know that 1 times 10 is 35, but it's really times 10. So I'm going to put my 0 there, so it's 350. So yes, that is the right answer. And then we've got 19 times 20. So 19 times 20. So again, remember this is 2 tens, so if I go ahead and just put my 0 right there, because I know that's going to be 0. 2 times 9 is 18. 2 times 1 is 2, plus that is 3, so we've got 380. So yes, that is the correct answer. My next one is 12 times 100. So we've got 100 times 12. Well, we know our answer is going to have the 2 at the end, right? So if I put my 2 zeros here and I do 12 times 1, I should get 1200. So that is not the correct answer. Next, and again, you could do area models for these if you want to, but I'm just kind of doing the way that I taught you at the last lesson. Okay, so we have 100 times 770. Well, first of all you need is the 7 times the 1, which is 7, and then how many zeros do I have? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So the answer is 7,000. So that is correct. All right. My last one is 28 times 30. So again, these are all mental math because they all have the 0 in them, right? So I know this is going to have a 0. So now I'm doing 3 times 8, which is 24. And then I have 3 times 2, which is 6. 7, 8. So it's 840. So no, that is not the correct answer. All right, the next one says there are 23 boxes of pencils in Mr. Shaw's supply cabinet. Each box contains 100 pencils. How many pencils are in the supply cabinet? So I'm going to be multiplying 100 times 23. And this should be pretty easy because if I do 23 times the 1, I get 23. And then how many zeros were in my problem? Mental math, right? I can just add them there. So 2,300 pencils were in the supply cabinet. Which would provide a reasonable estimate for each product? Write the estimate beside the product. An estimate may be used more than once. So if we've got 23 times 38, 25 times 40, that's really close. So I'm going to say that one should go here. 25 times 40. And then we've got 31 times 32. That definitely looks like 30 times 30. And then 46 times 18, well, that's close to 50 times 20. And then this one's 39 times 21. So that's close to 40 and close to 20. 40 and 20. You know what? I would probably go with this one, 25 times 40. All right, number 6. There are 26 baseball teams in the league. Each team has 18 players. Write the number sentence that would provide a reasonable estimate for the number of players in the league. Explain how you found your estimate. Well, 26 times 18 is the actual one, but they want us to write a number sentence for the estimate. Well, you could say this is close to 30 times 20, right? And 30 times 20, well, 3 times 2 is 5, and then I have 2 zeros in my problem, so I have 2 zeros in my answer. And again, this is only because they want the estimate. If I wanted to solve it, I would need to do this out, right? Okay, this model shows 48 times 37. Write the partial products. So first of all, let's make sure they did it right. 37 looks right to me. 48, 40, and 8 looks right to me. So in this box, I'm going to have 30 times 40. And in this box, I'm going to have 30 times 8. And then I'm going to have 7 times 40. And then 7 times 8. So now I'm going to solve those out. Well, 3 times 4 is 7. And then I have 2 zeros. So this is going to be 700. And then I have 30 times 8. Well, 3 times 8 is 24. And I've got 1 zero in my problem. So 1 zero in my answer. And then 7 times 40, well, 7 times 4 is 28. And again, I have 1 zero, so I'm going to put it there. And then 7 times 8 is 56. So my partial products are 700 plus 240 plus 280 plus 56. And then if I were to solve this all the way out, I would do 700 plus the 280, which is 0, 8, 7, 8, 9. And on this side, I would have 6, 9, and 2. Because I basically added these two numbers on this one and these two numbers on this one. Now I'm going to add my partial products over here. I get 980 plus the 296. And then I get 6, 16, 17, 9, 10, 11, 12. So the answer would be 1,276. Jess made this model to find the product 32 times 17. Her model is incorrect. And let's find out why. Well, 32, so there's my 30 and my 2, and then 17, 10, and 7. Well, we've got that part right. Ah, I see what she's doing wrong. So in this box, it should be 30 times 10. Well, 30 times 10 is not 40, right? 30 times 10, that's 3 times 1 is 4, and we have 2 zeros. So this should be 400. And then 30 times 7, well, that's saying 30 times 7, 21. Ooh, so this should be 210. And then this one, we've got 2 times 10, and 2 times 10, that's 20. So this should be 20 in this box. And in this box, we have 2 times 7, which is 14. So what did she do wrong? Well, it looks like she took the 30 and she added it to the 10, because 30 times 10 is 40. 30 plus 10 is 40. And 30 plus 7 is 37. And then 2 plus 10 is 12. And 2 plus 7 is 9. Ah, so she added instead of multiplying. So now they want you to redraw it correctly. So we've got our 30 and our 2, because it was 32 times 17. And I already did this for you, but 3 times 1 is 3, and I've got my 2 zeros, so this is 300. 3 times 7 is 21, with my 0 is 210, and then 2 times 10 is 20. 7 times 2 is 14. And then when you're adding up your partial products, you have 300 plus the 20 is 320. On this side, you've got 210 plus 14. 4 and 0 is 4, 1 and 1 is 2, and then 2. So now I have 320 plus the 224, and I get 4, 4, 5. So the answer is 544. All right, Tatum wants to use partial products to find 15 times 32. Write the numbers in the box to show 15 times 32. Well, For me, it's kind of easier to draw it out and then do it. So we've got 15, so we're going to take 10 and 5, and then we've got 32, so 30 and 2. So in this box, we're going to have 10 times 30, so I'm going to write that, 10 times 30, plus, in this box, we've got 10 times 2, so 10 times 2. In this box, we've got 5 times 30, so 5 times 30. And in this last box, we've got 5 times 2. Okay? And they're not asking us to solve it. They just wanted us to be able to write it out. Which product is shown by the model? Write the letters of the product on the line by the model. So we've got 17 times 36. Well, this is 10, 13 times 13. Oh, 13 times 13. So this one is going to go here. And then we've got 10 and 7 is 17, and 30 and 6 is 36. So 17 and 36. So this is going to go right here. And then finally we've got 20 and 4, so 24, 10 and 4, which is 14. So this one is going to go right here. Mrs. Jones places 3 orders for school t-shirts. Each order has 16 boxes of shirts, and each box of shirt holds 17 shirts. How many t-shirts does Miss Jones order? Use partial products to help you. So they are doing essentially, each order has 16 boxes and they hold 17. So 16 times 17. But they're placing 3 of those orders. So once I find this total, I have to multiply it by 3, right? Because I need the whole amount. So first let's do 16 times 17. And if you want to do the bar model, that's fine. You can do 16 times 17. Oops, what am I doing? You can do 16 and 17, right? So you can partial product it out. So 10 times 10 is 100. And then 10 times 6 is 60. 10 times 7 is 70. 7 times 6 is 42. So you get 170 on this side, and then you get 202 on this side. So you add 170 plus 102, and you get 272. But again, now you're going to take that 272 and you're going to multiply it by 3. So 272 times 3. So 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 7 is 21. And 3 times 2 is 6, plus the 2 is 8. So the answer is 816, and make sure you write shirts. So I actually solved a couple ways. I used my area model, partial products, and then I used the way our parents have probably been trying to teach you for a while now, which is regrouping. That's what we call it anyways, is regrouping. Okay, so next one. Write the unknown digits and use the digit exactly 1 time. All right, so we're using partial product here. So 3,000. So they are doing, on this one, they're doing the 90. All right, they're doing 90 times 40. So they're just multiplying the tens. 90 times 40. So you're going to have your 2 zeros, and 9 times 4 is 36. So I've used my 6. Okay, next they're going over and they're doing the 90 times the 6, right? So this is 90 times 6. Well, 9 times 6 is 54, and the 0. So this should be, the 4 is used there. Finally, they're doing the ones now. So now I'm doing the 3 times the 40. So 3 times the 40. Well, 3 times 4 is 12, and my 0. So this is 120. And then last but not least, they're doing the 3 times the 6. We're doing just our ones place, and 3 times 6 is 18. And now when I add them up, I get 8 plus 8, or plus 0 plus 0 is 8. And then I have 2 plus 1 is 3, 4, well actually 6 plus 4 is 10, 11, 12. Sorry, it's really hard to see here, so I'm actually just going to rewrite it over here and make sure that my numbers are lined up. So I have 8, 0, 0, and 0 is 8. 4 plus 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Then I have 5 plus 1 is 6, plus another 6 is 12. Regroup my ones. 3 plus 1 is 4. So I'm just making sure I've got that right. So this one should be 2. They didn't do a very good job of lining these up here, and that is one of the things I do notice when you're adding them up. You make your mistakes when you don't line them up. So that's why Miss Knoll rewrote them over here. Okay, Mike has 16 baseball cards, and Nico has 17 times as many baseball cards as Mike has. How many baseball cards does Nico have? So Mike has 16. Mike, 16. And Nico has 17. So Nico has 17 times as many as Mike. So if Mike has 16, that means Nico has 17 times the 16. So now we're going to solve it out. So we've got 17 times 16. And you could do it a couple ways. You can do it the way your parents want you to do it. So I go 6 times 7 is 42. Regroup my 1. 6 times 1 is 6, plus my 4 is 10. Now I'm done with my ones position, and I'm going to be doing tens. Since it's tens, I'm going to go ahead and put my 0 there. 1 times 7 is 7. 1 times 1 is 1. Add them together, and I get 272. If you want to do the area model, you can. It'll be the same thing. So I have 10 and 7, and 10 and 6, because I've got 16 and 17. 10 times 10 is 100. 10 times 6 is 60. Then I've got 10 times 7, which is 70. 7 times 6, which is 42. On this side, I've got 160 when I add it up. On this side, I've got 2. That's 10, 11. And so then I add those up, and I get 160 plus 112. I get 272. So same answer, 272 baseball cards. All right, the next one is this one. So 36 times 28. I'll go ahead and do area model for you because I know a lot more of you are more familiar with area model, so we'll do that together. So we've got 30 and 6 and 20 and 8. So 20 times 30, well, 2 times 3 is 6, and then I have my 2 zeros. And then 20 times 6, well, 2 times 6 is 12, and I have my 1 0. And then I have 8 times 30, so 8 times 3 is 24, and I've got my 1 0. Then I've got 8 times 6, which is 48. And now I'm going to add them together. So I'm going to add these two together first, then I'm going to add these two. So I've got 0, 4, 6 plus 2 is 8. And on this side we have 8, 6, and 1. And I'm going to add those together, 840 plus 168. Make sure you line everything up. 8 plus 0 is 8. 6 plus 4 is 10. Carry my 1, or regroup my 1. 8 plus 1 is 9, plus that is 10. So I should have 1,008. All right, a farmer planted 42 rows of tomatoes with 13 plants in each row. How many tomatoes did the farmer grow? So we're going to do 14 times 13. So I'm going to do the area model because I know that's what you're most familiar with. Okay, so we've got 42 times 13, so there's my 10 and my 3. 1 times 4 is 4, and I've got my 2 zeros, so that's 400. Then I've got 10 times 2, which is 20. And now I've got 3 times 40. 3 times 4 is 12, and my 1 0 is 120. And then I've got 3 times 2, which is 6. So over here I've got 0, 2, and 5 when I add them together. And over here I've got 26. Put that together, and I get to add them. So 6 and 0 is 6. 2 and 2 is 4. And then I've got 5, which is 546. You can also do it Mom and Dad's way or Grandma Grandpa's way. 42 times 13. Make sure we get the same answer. So first I'm starting with my ones, and I go 2 times 3 is 6, and then I do 3 times 2 is 12. And then I'm done with my ones, and I'm now on to my tens, and since this is a 10, I'm going to put my 0 here. So I've got 1 times 2 is 2, 1 times 4 is 4. And now I'm going to add those two partial products. So I've got 6 plus 0 is 6, 2 plus 2 is 4, and 4 plus 1 is 5. So as you can see, I get the same answer. All right, select another way to show 25 times 18 and mark all that apply. Well, here we've got 20 times 10. So they're basically doing this. 25 and 8 18, right? 10 and 18. So in here I'd have 20 times 10, that looks right. Here I'd have 5 times 10, that looks right. Here I'd have 20 times 8, yep. And then I'd have 5 times 8, so yes, that one works. The next one is 25 times 20. Well, that just doesn't even make any sense because 25 times 20, this isn't even a 20. So definitely not that one. Then we have 20 times 18. Well, we could do that. We could do 20 times 18, right? And then we'd have 5 times 18. 5 times 18. So they have 5 times 10. Okay, we could do that. We could take this and make this 5 times 10 and then 5 times 8. That one makes sense. All right, let's look at the next one. Let me erase this first so I have room. It's 25 times 10 and 25 times 8. Well, let's see. If I took the 25 and I broke apart the 10 and the 8, 10, 8. Yep, that could work. All right, then we have 25 times 20. Again, there's not even 20 in the answer, so that one is definitely not it. So these 3 do work, and the other 2 do not. Terrell runs 15 sprints. Each sprint is 65 meters. How many meters does she run? Show your work. All right, I'm just going to do aerial model on these because I know it's faster for some of you. So 6 times 1 is 6, and I've got my 2 zeros, so this is 600. 10 times 5 is 50. 60 times 5, well, 6 times 5 is 30, add my 0, and then I've got 5 times 5, which is 25. Add these up, I get 6 plus 3 is 900 on this side, and then I've got 75 on this side, 975, add that up, so the answer is 975. There are 3 new seats in each row of the school auditorium. There are 15 rows in the auditorium. Each new seat costs $74. What is the cost for the no seats? Well, first you need to find out how many seats there are. So there's 3 new seats and there are 15 rows. So 15 times 3. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 1 is 4. So we have 45 seats and adding them up, 6 plus 7 is 13, 9 is 1 is 10, plus 3 is 13, regroup, and then 3. So I should get $3,330. Ray and Ella helped move their school library to a new building. Ray packed 27 boxes with 25 books in each box. Ella packed 23 boxes with 30 books in each box. How many more books did Ella pack? Show your work. Ella's, I'm going to do mental math because it'll be a lot easier. I've got my 0 here. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 2 is 6, so 690 books. And then Ray is 20 times 20 is 400, and then 20 times 7 times 2 is 14 with my 1 0. Then I have 5 times, that's 10 with my 1 0, and 35. I get 500 on this side, 175 on this side. Add them together, I get 675. Now to find the difference, I'm going to take the 690 minus the 675. Can't take 5 from that, so I'm going to make it a 10 and an 8. So the difference in books is 15. There are 15 more books. So Julius and Walter finding the product of 25 and 16. Part A, Julius' answer is incorrect. What did he do wrong? Well, he multiplied the 25 and then multiplied by 25 and then multiplied the 25 by 6 correctly, but he added the 2 partial products incorrectly. Now, what did Walt do wrong? Well, he multiplied 6 by 5 and he got 300 instead of 30. And then what is the correct product? Well, 6 times 5 is 30. Regroup by 1. 6 and 2 is 12, plus 3 is 15. Now I'm doing the tens position, so I've got 5 and 2, 0, 10, 2, 3, 4. So the answer should be 400. Oops. All right, a clothing store sells 26 shirts and 22 pairs of jeans. Each item costs $32. What is a reasonable estimate for the total cost of clothing? Well, 26 and 22 is close to 50 together. And then if you multiply that times, say, 30, you would get 1,500. So that would be a good estimate. To find the real answer, you're going to have to add the 26 and the 22. You get 848, and then you're going to multiply that times the 32. So you could do it with an area model, doing 48 and 32 and getting your partial products, or you can do it your parents' way by going 2 times 8, which is 16, regroup my 1. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. And now I'm done with my 1s and I'm on to my 10, so I put my 0 here. 3 times 8 is 24. regroup my 2. 3 times 3 times 4 is 12, plus the 2 is 14. Add them together, I get 6, 9, 10, I get 13. Regroup 5, so you should be $1,536. And again, if I were to do it with partial products, 3 times 4 is 12 with my 2 zeros. 30 times 8, well, that's 24 and my 1 0. 2 times 4 is 8, and I get my 1 0 on my problem. And then 2 times 8 is 16, so now I have my partial product. I've got 1,280 on this side, 1,280 on this side right here, and on this side I've got 6, 5, 2, 256. Add them together, I get 8, 9, 10, it's 13. And that 2 and 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So I get the same exact answer, 1,536. All right, study, because your test is tomorrow, and good luck.